Hello, welcome to Texas Lone Wolf Miguel. I'm doing a story on marriage and divorce. Um, Many wives initiate this by statistically showing. I'm gonna show you this statistic. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring you this statistic showing that women initiate divorce by the governmental statistic. All right, I'm gonna show it to you. I'm going to give you the statistic. I'm going to give you the fast stats from CDC, okay? And, anyways, the reason why the marriage rates are down, so to speak, I'm going to make sure. Okay, census.gov, okay? It's got all the information right there, okay? So we're going to go to Quora, which is part of Facebook, all right, by the way. And, anyways, you ready to... Now, this is a 74-year-old who just got divorced, okay? I was divorced after 29 years of marriage, okay? So he's 74 right now. -74, okay? 74 minus 29. So he was 45 years old when he got a divorce. See, majority of the people file for divorce in the 40s, in the 40-year age range. Of course, I had a friend of mine. I told him about that. That's a waiting game to happen. Oh no, she ain't gonna do it. They've been separated. All right. And this one here is titled "People Who Initiate Divorce Ever Regret It Afterward." So this guy right here, Life is Beautiful. He goes by that on Quora. I believe some do. I was divorced after 29 years of marriage, basically because I had a heart attack. It was an illness. What happened to the marriage vows is I'll take you to be my lawfully wedded sozo, to be for richer or for poor, for sickness and health, till, and all that until death do us part. So, divorce after 29 years of marriage, basically had a heart attack. That was an illness, health. Couldn't do all the things he used to do for his wife. So, anyway, he was 45 when he had that heart attack. Okay, he's 74, as he stated right here. And he going by the metrics, okay? Couldn't cope with the chores of my own, laundry, garden, cleaning, and cooking, etc. It's all too much for him. He was doing it all right? I'm living on my own and much happier and less stress. It's been 3 years now. I'm fitter and healthier. My ex has been dating. She asked me to come back the other day. I said no. To that wife that initiated a divorce, you know what? And he also said right here, I've turned 74. He was 45 when he had that heart attack 29 years ago. He was 45. BMI is less than 25. He is at 7 kilograms. Seems better than the guy she dated. Oh my. I walk 5 miles 2 times a week. He's physically active. I do believe she very much regrets her decision, but I realized my heart attack was partly because of the stress of my marriage. By this talking, she already did him a favor. She remained friends with her, but that trust he had in the relationship is gone. So if she can't be there for me when life changes, then I'm better off on my own. We want to see what the comment says. Now, this woman said right here, she said, I divorced my husband after 20 years and one child together. I feel certain sadness over a loss of a marriage. I wish that might not be necessary. So in that way, I do feel regret, but I do regret making the decision to divorce. She proven the statistic already that she initiated it. Given the circumstance, no, I do not regret it. Well, she says she regretted it. No, she do not regret it. A particular circumstance is what makes the difference in whether a person feels regret. Nah, I don't believe that. Majority of the reasons is, um, you know, any. So he goes into I don't know where this guy got his education on this, but he's very smart. People have various reasons for grounds to initiate or seek a divorce. Majority of reasons say approximately over 95% I have read, seen, witnessed from my personal opinion are trivial, irrelevant, and of no substance and warrant such weighty and unrewarding choice that have grievous present and external consequences. So when viewed from scriptural point of view, no matter how unreasonable instruction from God we may be, as long it is from Him, it will surely end in victory. As I have repeatedly stressed in several write-up in Korah, God firmly states in the book Malachi 2:16, for the God of Israel, I will hate divorce. I will hate people who do cruel things easily as they put on clothes, says the Lord of all powerful. Be careful and do not break your trust. Now, as I read in that previous writing from that person in Korah, he got a divorce because he had a heart attack. Okay? While the issue of divorce regarded as a problem by many, actually is a symptom of a much deeper problem pervading the society. Hardness of the heart. This is what the master said. Moses permitted you to divorce your wife because your hearts were hard. It was not the way from the beginning. Matthew 19:8. Notice Christ answered the Pharisees who is applicable of those today instead of humbly seeking the truth from the Bible on the subject of divorce, having determined to do God's will, whatever the cost, rather than come to looking for preconceived ideas as justified. God made no provision for divorce when He instituted marriage in the beginning. Genesis 2:23-24. Okay, the definition for grounds of divorce is implied on the books of Deuteronomy in Matthew 1:19. Was expressed because Matthew was writing to the Jewish readers who would understand the unique betrothal customs which it was referred. Okay, similarly, the definition of understanding does not allow for adultery or fornication, dissolving a marital union when juxtaposed with God's original intent for marital union. Now, in the United States is a secular nation. Get married, get divorced for whatever reason, no fault divorce. And sequel to aforementioned In a brief insight, people who initiate divorce naturally do so based on their personal experience, which oftentimes are trivial and carnally driven in one hand and justified to them on another hand. However, such reason for seeking a divorce or weighed in line with God's command is often noticed to emanate from people or couples. Little or no knowledge, in-depth understanding of what marriage is all about. Such people or couples seem to trivialize every instance of marital vows. They undertook, hence, making mockery of the sanctity of the marital union as against upholding it. Okay? Such people who unthoughtfully initiate the divorce, I mostly consider as microwave couple or half-baked couples. Without pride and selfish blindfold, most couples seek to divorce, regretting such ungodly conduct as in its rear, because conscience often too insensitive and dead. So, okay. However, a couple for who entertain such unrewarded ungodly choice out of ignorance and immaturity after genuine realization, repentance, a burden of guilt and regret should be lifted off all shoulders. Okay. All right. Now here's a former soldier who went to Afghanistan to you know, people regret divorcing millions, I'd wager. My ex-wife pushed for our divorce starting when I was deployed in Afghanistan. Instead, I fought for it and researched it, focused on being a better partner. Roughly a year and a half, she finalized. Okay. From over 3 years ago. Now, see, this was put out. Let me see. Now, over 3 years ago, from what she tells me, her regret only increases over time. She got pregnant while we were married and is engaged to the guy now. We have 2 kids of our own together. She cried a lot and told me things that would be different if she could go back in time. But she can't. Nobody can. So now I insulate from myself from her distress because I'm going to respect the relationship she's in and not interfere. More than that, living in the past and regret only be harmful to me. I have an amazing girlfriend who I'm trying really hard to be good to. Divorce is rarely the fix of the relationship problem. In my opinion, it's catering to the humanistic escapism, causing an incredible amount of damage. I believe people either feel with regret following the divorce or hide it from themselves with an avalanche of anger or self-pity. Well, that military guy just got screwed while being deployed to Afghanistan. And she was messing around with another guy and got pregnant by him. And then got engaged with him after the divorce. So she's going to do that new guy that she's engaged to. And anyways, here's another one about the long distance relationship to quickly living together. So you don't know who you're going to, you don't know your spouse till you meet them in a divorce court. Okay? I get asked a lot about this. Will speak to my own regret. Okay? We had everything, a love relationship, particularly in the beginning. Things escalated fast. We went from long distance to quickly living together. Soon there was pressure for us to get married. We eventually did. We had the type of pressure to our relationship we weren't quite ready for. All right, in terms of regret, things where I would have done differently as a young, hard-headed man in a moment. I was blind to see a lot of issues that were afoot. Had I achieved regret with that, I wish I would have been more attentive husband. Okay, well, he owned up to some of his faults. I don't know if he's being a simp or a mangina. The worst part about the divorce, not necessarily divorce itself, but after all, no good marriage ends in divorce. So, the actual worst part is descent from a loving relationship to an ugly place where people say and do a lot of things they regret. Actually, the cloud that pollutes the good memories you had. By the time you get to the courtroom, the damage is usually done. The divorce is just a formality. So this was Carnan. All right. So we're going to go ahead and read. No, this is, for me, blaming all my issues on him was the biggest regret. Never speaking up when I was upset, as sad or angry. Instead, I expected him to know how to react and treat me. It seemed common sense. See, that was looked like an entitlement right there. It seemed common sense to me at that time. Life doesn't work that way, so I have learned since my partner's dysfunctional relationship, it served me well in my current one. Would I have stuck it out? I don't know. But I'm incredibly happy in having the pain of my divorce and lessons to thank for that. So, I guess it's not my wife who's like that. We first got married. She constantly got mad and fought with me because I missed something or did not recognize some cue, like you said. I had to tell her hundreds of times I cannot read her mind and she needs to tell me what to expect. What to expect from me. Finally, it would seem like either I got wiser and she learned to communicate better, so it doesn't happen anymore. Well, you know what? Men are not mind readers. Men are not mind readers. If you want us to do something, you're going to have to speak up. But we're not going to read your damn mind and tell what's on your damn head. We're not sorcerers. We're not wizards. We're not magicians. We can't tell what's going on in your little skull of yours. All right? Love this comment we learned from our failed relationship, and we take lessons from them and carry on through our future relationship. It means that it wasn't wasted time. Mistakes are not stupidity, but education. If we continue to make the same ones, we're stupid. Well, now, it's going to be all right, son. We live and make mistakes. We learn and move on. This when cycle happens includes marriage. It's tough. Money, business failures can be less forgiving, but marriage dissolution hits us harder. Try to get some counseling if you do not think you don't need it. Talk things over helps in the long run. My 3 cents of advice: don't sit around and get back on the horse, my friend. Mm. Anyways, so this divorce industry right here is mostly just not. It's not worth it. And anyways, I'm gonna go back through here. Um. Anyways, Now, I'm going to go ahead and move to the next uh, site here called Reddit. Actually, I'm going to move to this next article. It says, wives who regret over leaving their marriage. So, okay. All right. So you get the crossroads in your life, and the road you decide to take could shape your life forever, for better or for worse. Some 20 years ago, Jennifer A. Dentist had an affair which broke up her marriage to a man she had fallen in love with since they met at the medical school. Wow. She was going to school, had a fling with a colleague at the teaching university, so to speak. So, feeling so remorseful after all these years, the answer is simple. She said, I want forgiveness. It's a word I've considered a great deal in the past few years. I hope by saying sorry for the hurt, pain I caused in the past, I can convey I strongly how I regret what I did. And that John, my ex, will be able to forgive me. In my heart, I've crafted a letter of remorse for John to read. Okay, anyway, this was the ex-wife who wrote the letter to her ex-husband. So, see, it seemed all like yesterday when we were both fresh in face under the graduate medical school. Well, all of our lives stretching uncertainty before us, we had what I call an on and off relationship for a few years. We became serious after my 21st first birthday. My parent sibling loves you. We began talking about the future together, our final year. We quickly got engaged when we started work. You with a private hospital while I remained at the teaching hospital. All right. 2 years after we got married, been building our life together, got married couple. I was the happiest woman in the world. When I said my vows, God knows I meant them. I never thought I'd betray you the way I did. At first, married life was all I dreamed it to be. I thought you were my only partner in crime. Okay, I know you felt the same way. Our house was always open to friends and family, as we loved it, having them around. You never forgot my birthday or our anniversary. It wasn't about showy gifts. It was small, thoughtful gestures too, like being a huge help in the house, even offering to cook meals when I became pregnant. Yet I threw it all away. How could I have been stupid? Oh my goodness. You know, she had an affair with someone at the, you know, okay. You were a great father to our daughter, and when you got a better job, came with living quarters, which was perfect. Sadly, you can't complain about being unhappy at your job in the end. You just resigned. We had to live in the rent accommodation, and money was tight. Our roles were huge and explosive. Angry, resentful, I set myself on a destructive path, which led me into the arms and bed of a colleague. Of course, I don't blame you for how I reacted. It was entirely my doing. Occasionally, I wonder what might have happened if you'd only talked to me about quitting your job first. I would have supported you. Now, here she's going to try to justify the affair. Dare was a consultant I worked with for years who was constantly flirting with me. I was very attracted to him, but I always rebuffed his advance to tell him I was happily married, which I was. One day after you called me at work complaining about your owner of the clinic you worked for, Dare came into my office, found me crying. He took me to lunch, calmed me down. That's how it began. One lunch turned into several lunches, which had turned to evenings out planned around your night duties, eventually a full-blown affair. And because of your erratic schedule at work, it was too difficult to hide what I was up to. No excuse. But Dare caught me at a low point in our marriage. Now she's trying to justify this, okay? All right. I was vulnerable, all right. I could have said no, but I was looking for something that would make me feel good. You know, where the forbidden fruit, okay? Something to take my mind away from the stress and tension at home. In fairness to Dare, he wasn't even just meaningless affair. I fell in love with him, even thought I still was in love with you. She was comparing him and the other affair partner, all right? Those would never been my position and would say it is impossible to love two people at the same time. But I know it's not. I wish I knew I should stop seeing Dare. The affair is like a drug. It's addictive. Bullshit. It ain't no addictive drug. It was a choice that you made to break up your marriage. It was stressful living a double life, but height of affair meant I kept going back. With the hindsight, still can't believe I did it. A mistake. I learned from it, but at the time, I was in too deep. Meanwhile, my relationship with you was deteriorating. You stopped communicating, and laughing became distant. My behavior must have aroused your suspicion. A few months later, mutual friends at the teaching hospital let you know that what was going on and couldn't lie out of your accusation to save my life. When you asked if I was having an affair there, I was petrified. I knew the next word to come out of my mouth were going to break up my marriage, and they did. The disgusting look on your face made me feel so small. I couldn't have hurt you more if I stuck a knife in your back. At first, I thought we could work it out. It was a huge relief for me to admit the affair as I lived in a lie. One big hurdle standing in our way was that I still had to work with Dare. As a couple, we couldn't afford me to quit my job also, so I continued working in the same hospital, told Dare we had to cool things. Unfortunately, that was harder than I expected. I really did love him. See him every day fanned by flames, and the affair reignited a few weeks later. Eventually, you took no more than when you told me you could no longer trust me. We agreed on the marriage was over. I failed it, ruined it, and let you know that I let you and our daughter down. My family too, I let myself down too. With Dare's help, I was able to live in one of the flats at a hospital premises that we agreed on a clean divorce. When I got divorce paper, I saw you cited adultery, which it hurt. I don't blame you, though. It was a sad thing in our love story. Dare and I were together for 15 years afterwards, and we chose not to have any more children as he already had 3 of his own. For a good few years after my divorce, I carried a huge amount of guilt. It took me a while to feel happy again, but I am now. Okay? Sadly, Dare and I drifted apart, separated 4 years ago. Inevitably, I reflect on whether breaking up from you had been worth it. I've seen many good years with Dare and hope that you are happy too. Through the snippets of information from friends and our daughter, I learned that your second marriage is good. I truly hope the case you are a decent. I truly hope that's the case. You were a decent husband to me, so why am I feeling remorseful now? 3 years ago, I was diagnosed with breast cancer and had both breasts taken out. It was a touch and go after a grueling treatment. Now I'm in remission. I have no cancer symptoms and I'm living my life to the full. Selfishly, I thought you might want to know I had cancer. Our daughter must have told you. What did I expect you to do about it? All I want you to do is forgive me. I'm sure you have. In return, I hope you have a healthy, happy, and you deserve to be. Now, All right. You know what? That ex-wife is asking for forgiveness. And she demands to be forgiven. So, what an eye-opener humor, all right? Now, um, anyways, right here, what a story. You never know what you have until you lose it. That right there was published 2 years ago. Now, 5 women share the biggest regret about divorces, okay? The last one I did, both of them were working at a medical facility. And affairs happen ongoing in these medical facilities. But they had to sign a love contract to protect the medical facility from divorce cases or whatever cases may come up. 5 women share the biggest regrets about their divorce, okay? I hate the fact that we threw away strong history in friendship. All right, are you ready for this? Maybe your divorce isn't dramatic as the HBO show that Sarah Jessica Parker, but it doesn't mean it's confusing emotion and at times terrible. Divorce tend to bring out the worst in all parties involved. Think screaming, crying, prolonged custody battles over your goldfish, and not uncommon for women to look back with few regret about who the whole split went down. Hey, this happened to the best of us. Here's what 5 women would change about their biggest breakups. So, I got divorced when I was 47. See, the majority of the divorces are filed when the women are in their 40s. After being married for 5 years, so she was 42. She got married. And anyways, I'm going to read this. I've been traveling the Asia with my husband, writing about it, and for my website. After the divorce, I moved back and started fresh. So, okay. When I got married, I changed my name, moved across the world. I was all in. When it didn't work out, I was like, are you kidding me? You never imagined what would last. I felt like a failure. I was so sad. I joked with friends that I live in Sucksville. Seemed like those feelings would never change or end. I felt shattered. Keep thinking, if I had never met him, I wouldn't never had to get divorced. If I had never needed him, I wouldn't be in pain now. I'm living my life backwards. So it took me a while to eventually start to heal. I read Super Survivors and finally resonated with me to help me realize I need to forgive myself so I stop fantasizing about changing the past. My favorite passage reads, forgiveness is giving up the hope that the past could be any different. Forgiveness means breaking the psychological ties that binds you to the past. Giving up quest to change for what's already happened rather than dwelling on the past. She found herself asking hopeful and forward looking for what now. And she's 50. She filed for divorce. I'm through with my life. I understand getting divorced sucks. Being divorced can be great. One regret is I wish I hadn't been so hard on myself. I call myself, you live in Sucksville. It will get better, at least a 50. Oh, another one says, I wish I had not moved on someone else so quickly. All right. I was married to another woman for 18 years before getting divorced. I couldn't shake my desire to have kids, start a Buddhist spiritual practice and lifestyle. And she couldn't support me in those needs. I wasn't prepared to end the relationship in those reasons. So ultimately, why I left. I met someone who was interested in starting a family and pursuing the same lifestyle as me. Everything just clicked. When my wife and I finalized the divorce, I lost my job, so even through my new relationship, just a beginning, circumstances made it escalate very quickly. I ended up moving from Colorado to North Carolina to live with her. Well, anyways, I felt like it was probably hurtful to say my ex to my monkey bar from our very long relationship into a new one. Very much younger woman. My very valid reasons for divorce were completely shrouded by her pain of being replaced so quickly. I'm happily remarried now. My ex moved on, but she still refused to communicate with me without miss. You know what? I feel like if I let my response for leaving the reason I left instead of someone else, maybe I could be friends. These 3 years later, I regret I hurt her. I left so quickly for someone else. Susie, 39. Another regret is, are you ready? I hate the fact we threw away a strong friendship. All right, are you ready for this? I met my ex-husband when I was 14. We were friends from then on until 22, when she was 22, before considered dating him. He pursued me for 9 solid years. We had a great friendship, could talk to him about anything. We started dating when I started 2023, got engaged, married, had an amazing son shortly after. Then real life set in, bills, responsibilities, scheduling, parenting. It's not just happily ever after. No one tells you the amount of work you have to put into it. We got divorced just about 8 years later. Now, my biggest regret is losing my friend, not ending it on a better note. Even though we have a child together, we have not spoken to each other since May of 2017. We have so much history. I understand we're not compatible, but I hate the fact that we threw away strong history and friendship. Kedra, 33. So Kedra was, let me go ahead and see, okay, she filed, okay, 2017 minus 2022 would be 5 years. It's bad. I should have ended things sooner. All right. I'm from South Africa. Met my American husband there. We relocated to the U.S. in 2010. It was meant to be a temporary thing for his work, but it wasn't. I never wanted to move. I didn't know how I would survive away from my family. I wanted my kids to be part of that. He manipulated, promised me we'd go back, but then emotionally abused me to let me take one child at a time. We tried to plan visit back to South Africa. It was clear that we were never going to move back. I initiated the divorce. So I wanted to finalize it sooner, but couldn't. My husband threatened to take away my opportunity for citizenship, which I needed. So even if I left, I could see my children if they stayed in the U.S. It was a long, grueling process. We got through it. I've been here so long now, I established work, and I'm currently studying. My children lived here longer than in South Africa, which makes sense to stay for now. I wish my husband and I understood the importance of each other's culture more. It's been a long road to let go and be a whole again. 39. Okay, she was 39 when she wrote that. Okay, I wish I'd been more civil and protected my assets. Okay, often men get raked through the coals when they get divorced, okay? Did you know that? Men get raked through the coals. All right? It's been final, my divorce last summer. It's been a brutal process that took over a year to finalize. And I have spent some time to reflect on how I wished I'd done things differently. My ex-husband cheated on me with multiple women. There was no going back for me once I found out. He tried to repair it. I responded with extreme disdain. I was disgusted. I said things that you can't take back, and we became increasingly nasty to each other. We drove the knife deeper into our hearts. Okay, let's see. Now, the woman filed for divorce here. I don't regret the divorce. Sometimes people aren't meant to be together. But the separation had to be so brutal was me that we made it. There's things you can't unsay, and although it was bad at that point, we acted more civility. I think we could have landed somewhere that wasn't, I hate you forever, I'm not angry with him anymore. We had some wonderful times together. I love to make a civil relationship with him. We made each other enemies. It's a shame. I also regret not protecting myself better. I had assets going into our marriage. He didn't. We used my money to start the businesses together. Hadn't I properly protected myself financially, I lost a bit of money and I lost a lot of money in a divorce. You know, women, if you want equality here, this one woman right here filed for a divorce. She lost a lot of money in this. I don't think you had to be extreme in getting a prenup, but at least allow you to draft up a list what you both have going into the marriage. There's some documentation of the assets I brought into it. I think I should limit some of the losses. She initiated the divorce and lost the money that she put into the marriage. Now, most men would always have to be on the losing. The man here did not lose. Did you know that? So, okay. Now, I'm going to blow this up so we can see right here, okay? Now, this is the CDC. I'm trying to find it here. Okay, well, and there's all your stats right here. All your stats are right here. So this video is pretty much done on splitting up the union. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel this video, and peace. Remember, men, smart men do not marry unless you want to lose or play Russian roulette with your resources. It's not worth it, okay? Until you next time, take care of yourself, take care of others, and peace.